All right, so what we're going to do today, we're going to go over the format for the quiz, which will be at the end of class. Again, that's going to be the last 15 minutes of class, so you should have quite a lot of time to work on it. So I'm always
I
going to
think you're muted, Professor.
Am I?
No, I can hear
Yeah,
you.
we can hear
It just
you.
says your camera's muted, but something else is we could hear you still.
Okay. So everyone can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
'cause-
Yep.
Okay, because I am doing it a little different this time. I have my camera hooked up to a different computer and my mic hooked up to a different one, so it's kind of weird.
That's weird.
Okay, but there's no
Are
like,
you also assigning a new assignment today?
yeah.
Right.
Is there any lag between like what I'm talking or what I'm saying in my video?
Not on my end. I don't know about
Not
anyone
mine.
else though.
All right.
Not really.
Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, you're gonna have your quiz. Sorry, I think it clipped. I don't like Zoom. I think the audio clipped for a second, but whatever. So you have your quiz in the last 15 minutes of today. So they're always going to be 15 minutes long, even if it's a short quiz or a bit harder, which will be later on. If you can't hear me, make sure that both of my my names are unmuted. Okay, so yeah, so they're
Someone
both
can't
15
hear
minutes
you,
long.
Michael.
Yeah, Michael, make sure that my Patrick Phelan, make sure that's unmuted. The P Phelan account that I have, that one is muted. But yeah, everyone else can hear me, so yeah, just check your audio settings. Okay, so going back again now, they're both 15 minutes, or all of them are going to be 15 minutes long for the quiz. And today we have a few questions for the quiz. I think there's 4, but that's just because we're doing very simple stuff right now. And of course, I made the quiz, but when I took it, I'm not trying to go too fast or anything. It only took me 3 minutes, so you should have plenty of time to work on it for today.
Is the quiz like a multiple choice or just like a little bit of work that we submit?
Yeah, so I'll go over the format in just a few minutes here, but it's gonna be basically you're gonna type in the code and paste it in, kind of like you do for homework. So yeah, the quiz is similar to homework. Also, it is open book. Basically, it's open everything because I can't control what you guys do or don't do. I'm not gonna use Proctorio, whatever, however you
But I
call
don't want to have to run MATLAB on a VM.
it. You're using a virtual machine?
Yeah, I don't know what it does. It says it knows your identity. I don't trust them. So
What, for Proctorio or what?
yeah, Proctorio. I don't know what it looks
yeah.
through. So I'm just doing it on a VM, isolated,
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not using that, so no worries for this class. So is it open books? Yeah, it's open lecture notes, it's open video recordings if you want, it's open your past homework assignments, it's open anything. All I ask is that you work by yourself and not with any other students. And you can also use MATLAB too, right? So you can use MATLAB, and that's a really big help, to be honest, especially later on for the quizzes, because you might type some code in and it might not run, and MATLAB's kind of built-in debugging is going to help you out. But there is that time constraint, so that's kind of the main reason that you should study in advance. Okay, can we have a little review for the quiz before we do it? Yeah, there's going to be a bit of review as well, yeah. Okay, any other questions before I show you guys the format for the quiz? Okay. All right. Change this. Okay, so again, to repeat, the quiz is going to be in the last 15 minutes of class. And basically, you're going to go to Canvas, and you can go over on the left-hand side here. Let me go to student view. So you can go on this left-hand side this sidebar or whatever, and click on quizzes. So you can click on quizzes, and then you'll see quiz 1. If I click on it now, it's going to say it's not available until 3:30. So it's going to be from 3:30 to 3:45. And let's leave this really quick. I have a little example quiz that I'll show you what it kind of looks like. Didn't want to show you that. That was the quiz. Okay. This is the one I want to show you. Okay, so here's an example quiz. So your quiz is going to look something like this. Now, the question I gave here is super simple. But this is just to show you the kind of layout for the quiz. Okay, so you see once the quiz starts, and it's going to, start at 3:30 by itself. So it's going to open up then, and then you can click on the quiz to get to this kind of page. And you'll see up top that there is a timer up here that starts from 15 minutes. So everyone has 15 minutes to work on the quiz unless you contacted DSS and you have an exemption, like for a time extension or something like that. Okay, so you can look at this timer, and basically how I set up the quizzes for most of the problems, and it's all of them for today, it's kind of fill in the blank like this. So you see here, I also show you the points per question. So now for this example question, it's 5 points. So for this, on one line, make the following row vector by specifying each entry manually. So this one is super simple, right? But we have A equals, and then we just type in our answer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can either put in a semicolon, because, by convention, we suppress stuff. But if you don't in your quiz, I'm not going to dock you for that. So this is how you would define it. And all you do is press submit. Or if you're working on the quiz, and let's say that there's like 5 questions, right? And you currently filled out 4 questions, and you're on the 5th one. If you only fill out part of it, and you don't click on submit in time, don't worry about that, because Canvas is going to automatically submit whatever you have right when it closes. But if you're copying and pasting stuff from MATLAB into Canvas, you got to keep in mind how much time you have left, because once it closes, it's going to close. So if you didn't paste everything into Canvas in time, that's on you guys. So you really got to make sure that you watch the time up here. Okay, so is there any question for the formatting of the quiz?
Is it just one question?
Today it's going to be 4 questions, but that's just because it's very simple stuff so far.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Is there a question, Brianna? Okay. But yeah, all of them, at least today, are going to be like this kind of fill in the blank format like this. Okay, so today we're going to start out with some review to prepare you for the quiz. What I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to stop sharing my screen really quick. I'm going to look at our quiz to give you a little bit of better review. Okay, I'm not going to review every single question that we have, but kind of go over the main topics. Okay. All right, I'm going to open up MATLAB now. Also, the slides, as per usual, they were updated last night if you want to look at the updated slides. Usually when I update them, I just change a few things, kind of make them a bit better than last semester. Okay, I'm going to make a new script. Let's play this. Okay, new script. We're in week 4 now. Already week 4. Again, then remember, if we're in a script and I want to save it, I can either click on save or I can just press run and it's going to prompt me to save it. Or is it 217? Yeah. Okay, here we go. So let's start it with review. So I'll have you guys kind of work on this exercise before we begin. So let me just think of stuff off the cuff here. I'll have a few little problems to have you work on. So making a matrix. First I guess I'll actually just define the matrix that actually will do one from the slides here. Okay, so I wanted to make this matrix in this slide here that you see on the left. No, I don't like that matrix, sorry. Okay, let's just make a matrix first. So we'll do A equals 0, 1, 2, and then on a new row, 3, 4, 5, and then on a new row, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to run this just so you can see in the command window. Okay, there's our matrix. And from here, so part of this problem, let's make a new matrix B. So I'm going to tell you what to do in a comment. Make a new matrix B of row 1 and let's see, and column 3. And this size here is going to be 2 by 3. So that's going to be 2 rows and we have 3 columns. Okay, so we're going to look at this matrix A, and you can see in the command window, and I want to make a new matrix B that consists of row 1, so that's our first row, and then our second row is going to be this third column here. So we're going to have to transpose that to make a new matrix that has a size of 2 by 3. Okay, so I'll let you work on this for about a minute, and then we'll go over this one. Okay, so hopefully you had enough time to work on that, but we're going to go over it now. So again, we're going to look at matrix A here, and for matrix A, we want to make a new matrix, matrix B, that's going to have a size of 2 by 3, so that's 2 rows and 3 columns. And on the first row, we're going to have just row 1 for matrix A. And on the second row, we're going to have column 3 for matrix A. And we're going to have to transpose that so we get a size of 2 by 3 for this new matrix. So to make this matrix, we're going to have to use array addressing like we learned before. So we're looking at matrix A, so I'm going to type in A. Okay, and then I am looking at row 1, so I'm going to put in 1. And I want to get all of the columns in row 1, so I'll put comma. And to get all of the columns, remember we use a colon. So currently, if I run this, all I'm going to get for the output is the first row. All right, and that's what we see, but we want to make a new matrix, right? So we want this first row, and then beneath this, we want column 3 transposed to a row. So to do this, now we need to wrap this entire expression here in brackets so we can make a matrix. Okay, so I'm going to put a semicolon here because as I'm building this matrix, this semicolon is going to indicate that I want to make a whole new row. And again, we want the third column for matrix A. So I'm going to put A, I want to reference that matrix. Now I'm going to put in a colon here because I want all of the rows in column 3. So we put a colon, then a comma 3. So that's all of the rows in column 3. All right, now let's run this. Oh, I forgot to transpose it. So you see we had this error here because what I was trying to do is take the first row and then take the third column in A and put that third column below that row. So those sizes are different, so we can't do that. So basically I was trying to do something like this. 2, 5, 8. So, you know, these sizes aren't compatible. I need to have it like 2, 5. Okay, delete this. 2, 5, 8. So I have to transpose that column vector to a row vector. So to do that, remember we put in an apostrophe. So now we run it, then it works this time. So we have the first row that we had from matrix A, and then the second row was the third column in matrix A that's now transposed. All right, everyone clear on that? Okay, and then let's see, the next kind of important thing is precedence, or even more specifically, because precedence is kind of simple, but remembering some of the functions that are built into MATLAB. Okay, there's a question. What if it's done like this? B equals 0, 1, 2, and then 2, 5, 8. Yeah, you would lose points if I told you that you had to use array addressing for matrix A. So basically, let's see. Yeah, so in here, I should have even been more specific of row 1 and column 1 and column 3 from matrix A. So if I gave you these instructions, I would make it a little more clear in the quiz, but these instructions here are telling you that you have to use array addressing from matrix A to make this new matrix B. So if you only made matrix B manually by yourself by doing B equals 0, 1, 2, and then 2, 5, 8, you're not showing me that you know how to do array addressing, so I would dock you points then. But I would try to be very clear for the instructions what you have to do. All right, anything else? All right. So okay, so the functions we were kind of talking about. So let's kind of go over some of those. Actually, I'll do a little combination here where we also make a plot as well. So I call this plotting exercise. So one of the first things that we're going to do here is make an x-axis. So now when we have our plot, we have our independent axis, which will be or independent variable, I should say, which will be our x-axis. So that'll, be something like time. So to do this, we're actually going to first make a row vector by ourselves. So we're going to use the colon operator in this instance here. So I'm going to start from 0, so you can kind of think of this as a time of 0 seconds. My step size, we'll do 0.1. Then I'm going to go to 10. So you can kind of think of this like we're going from 0 seconds to 10 seconds with a step size of 0.1. All right. And then for our dependent variable, let's call this y. And let's make this something like, I don't know, 2 times sine of x. So we have 2 times sine of x. So remember, when we have a trig function, we have to use parentheses. And inside of our parentheses, we're going to put, in this case, our independent variable, which was x. And let's do something like the natural log of 2. So plus natural log of 2. In MATLAB, it's kind of weird. The natural log is given by log. And if we want log base 10 in MATLAB, we would do log 10. Okay, so there we go. And now if we want to plot these, I should also emphasize that, before I said the x variable, or vector in this case, that was our independent variable. So that has a size of 101, or if it's a size, it's 1 by 101, but it has a length of 101. So we have 101 elements inside of this vector. And then our dependent variable y, that was dependent on x, which you can see because we have sine of x. And because of that, y has the same length as x. So both of these variables, they both have 101 elements. So because they have the same length, we can plot them. So if I want to plot them, I'll use the plot command. The first argument is going to be what's on the x-axis, or what is our independent variable, so that's x. And the second one is going to be the dependent variable, so in this case it's y. So now if we run this, then here we go, here's our plot. Remember, for me this warning is just a graphics warning for my system, so basically it's just when I preview my figures on my computer, it looks a little not good, but when I save it, it looks a lot better. So anyways, this is what the graph looks like. So we were able to plot that. So just remember that trig functions, we have to use parentheses. And remember, for some functions like the natural log, in MATLAB, it's a little weird because we don't put ln for the natural log, we actually type out log. And there was also a slide for chapter 1 when I listed out all of these kind of important math functions that we have. All right. Any questions before we move on to new material today?
Did we learn plotting actually?
Yeah, at the very end of chapter 1, we went over some of the basics of
Oh
plotting.
wait, I remember. Okay. Wait. So, what for x? I don't get it. Wait, why did you put 0 column? That
Because he's making values from 0 to 10 with a step size of 0.1. So you count from 0 all the way to 10. So
Yeah, right.
Can we do another quick review of plotting, please?
Sure.
oh wait, cause well, are you trying to do like a number of elements, all that stuff?
Yeah, so let's actually, I'll
Okay.
make this a bit more visual. So x, remember that's our
Yeah.
independent variable. So that's basically, 0 to 10. This is what we created right here. And our step size was 0.1. So if I change the step size to something like, let's do 0.5, and now I run it, you see this plot is a lot more jagged now because we have less elements. We have
Okay.
21 elements now.
I see. Okay, all right. I remember. Okay, I thought because what do you call it? I don't know, for some reason like I have to like know it's same like as numeral or something. I know that's not good in terms of like yeah. I just have a narrow view when it comes to like looking at that.
Well, okay. When we do more examples and
Yeah.
we move on in the class, I'm sure you're gonna get it more.
Mhm.
Okay, so one of you wanted another plotting example, right? So for this quiz, I think we do have one question with plotting, but it's going to be something simple like this. I'm not going to have you specify the line width or the color, anything like that. I'll do that in chapter, I think 3 is for plotting. No, actually no, chapter 5.
does this homework have plotting in it? I think that's how I remember this stuff best.
Yeah.
Like if I don't apply it, it goes one in one ear out the other.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this homework, the first question is plotting. I can actually check. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about the homework too, so I might as well talk about that now. So yeah, the first question does have plotting for it. And the homework is going to be due on this upcoming Monday. Since we're talking about it, let's actually bring it up, have all of you kind of say what you want. So that's this upcoming Monday, but we can make it this upcoming Wednesday if you want, but we're also going to have a quiz next Wednesday as well. So the solutions for the homework would be posted after you turn it in. So we can either have it due on Monday, and then I can give you the solutions that Monday, or we can have it due on Wednesday, but you guys aren't going to get the solutions until after the quiz. Okay. So yeah, put it in the chat, whatever you prefer. I'm seeing mostly Wednesday so far. Okay, Wednesday. All right, so I'm seeing mostly Wednesday, so we'll plan on that for now. I'll have you guys turn it in on Wednesday.
Wait, Patrick, wait, wait, are you talking about the quiz?
No, this is for the second homework.
Wait, when was it originally due?
I was gonna have you submit it this upcoming Monday.
Okay, but people want it next Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, alright.
Yeah. So yeah, your homework is also posted on Canvas. I posted it last night. So this is what it looks like. So I think it's a bit more than the first homework, but so yeah. So we'll have it due next Wednesday just because the majority of you say Wednesday. But also next Wednesday you're gonna have your second quiz as well,
Oh,
which will be
wow.
based on this homework.
Hmm.
Okay. And so yeah, so there's a question for plotting as well.
Wait, so basically, like how it's gonna work, like we're gonna get assigned homework and then we're gonna have a quiz on that homework and then it's just like the same thing from there. Like homework 1, quiz 1, homework 2, quiz 2, and they're based on the homework that was due before.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the thing is I prefer to give you guys the solutions before the homework is due, so maybe, I don't want to say it guaranteed right now, but I might post them the day before. So I might post the solutions on Tuesday, and the homework is graded on completion, so that's still up to you guys to actually work on it on your own because that's for your own good. But then you can check the solutions, but no guarantees on that yet. Okay, so we want one more plotting example and one more matrix example. Okay, so we'll do a quick plotting one. It's going to be very similar to what we have up here. At least for the first quiz, it's very simple stuff. But in this case, let's do our independent variable. We're going to use the linspace command instead. So we'll do linspace. Let's say that I want to start at 5. And let's say I want to go to, I don't know, 20. And remember, our third element or third argument here is going to be the number of elements that we want. So you can kind of see that in this little blue box here. So let's say I want 100 elements. Actually, by default, I think it's 100 elements. So let's double check that. So yeah, by default, it's 100 elements. So let's make it 1000 elements then. And yeah, Brianna, I'll do another matrix example too. Okay, so here is our independent variable. Oh yeah, also, so each time that I run this code here, my plot comes up, and I'm done with this example now, so I don't really want that plot to continue to come up. So I could comment it out if I want, but later on in the class, we're going to want to preserve that plot to kind of save. So what I can instead do is figure visible and then off. So don't worry about this command. You're not going to be graded on that or anything, but when I run my script now, it actually generates this plot, but it doesn't make it visible to us. So, quick aside. Okay, now let's make our dependent variable. Let's call it, I don't know, r this time. And let's do e to the negative 2x. So remember, to have e to the negative 2x, for that exponential, we have to type exp. So we do exp instead of what we would often do, if we're like writing this out by hand, we would just do e to the negative 2x. But in MATLAB, we have to be very specific, and that function is exp. And then inside of this function, we're going to put in our argument. So in this case, that was negative 2x, so we put negative 2 times x. And to plot this, again, a very basic function here. We're just going to do plot, put our x domain, so that's x, and then our dependent variable, which in this case is r. All right, there we go. Now I can press F5 to run it. And it should generate here. Oh, it's because of this. So we'll do figure, and then I'll do visible. In this case, I'm going to put on. I should type visible correctly. All right, there we go. All right, so here's our plot. Not a very nice looking plot, but here it is nonetheless. Okay, so question are we going to be given 2 commands on the quiz and be asked to plot it. Yep, that's basically what I have you do for one of the questions, yeah. I don't want to give too much away, but that is one of them. Okay. And then we'll do another matrix example here. Making a matrix. I'm thinking because there's 2 questions on making a matrix, and I don't want to give too much away again. You know, I want you guys to do well, but I don't want to hand you the solutions basically. So let's think about how I could do this. Okay. All right. So I got an idea, kind of. So we can make a matrix row by row, which is kind of what we did up here. So we made matrix A here by building each row in a kind of consecutive order. So this was the first row, 0, 1, 2. Then we put a semicolon to make our second row, which is 3, 4, 5. And then we used another semicolon to have another new row, which was 6, 7, 8. So we can do it row by row, or we can do it column by column. So when we do it column by column, it's a bit more messy. And remember, to do it column by column, let's do making a matrix column by column. So to do it column by column, we have to use brackets for each column that we're making. So I'll do a matrix C, and let's do 0, 0, 2, 0. So right now, let's run this. This is one column right now. So we have 0, 2, 0. If I want to make a matrix now, I can build this again column by column. So I can make a new column here. And for this new column, I again have to use brackets for that specific column vector. So I could do 1, 3, 3, 4, 4, whatever. Run that, and now we have our 3 by 2 matrix that we made column by column. So again, we can do it column by column, or we can do it row by row. It depends whatever I specify for the question, if I do specify it. So, you know, in other quizzes later on, I might tell you to make a matrix, but if I don't specify how to make it, you can make it however you want. Okay. So that's all we're going to go over for this, because I gave you really a lot of stuff here. A lot of this stuff is actually very close to what's on the quiz, so I don't want to give too much stuff away. So that's it for the review today. So we're going to start our new stuff now. But does anyone else have any questions that I can hopefully answer before we get started?
Yeah. So not to get confused with how matrix are they similar to in terms of column and rows?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So your matrix is just rows and columns. So
Rows and columns.
See, we had 3 rows and we had 2 columns. So if I say make a matrix a size of 3 by 2, that means 3 rows and 2 columns, which is what you see here.
Oh, I see. So with a semicolon, that's how you do column, but without semicolon, that's how you do row. Is that right?
More explicitly, a semicolon has you go on a new row. So, you know, here we had a 0, we put a semicolon, then we had a 2. So that was 0. We put a semicolon to make a whole new row, and then we put a 2.
Oh, I see. But a row, you don't need that basically. Since semicolon, like you said, it's just to cut it basically. Something like that.
Yeah, just to go on a new row. But if you want to make if you're making like a row vector, remember we did like, let's do 0. If I want to make a new entry in this row vector, I don't need to put a semicolon. Instead, I either don't put anything, I just put a space, or I can put a comma. So I could do 0, comma 2, and this is going to make a row vector of 0 and 2. Or I can just delete that comma, and all I can have is a space in between, and that'll make the same thing. But a semicolon makes a whole new row for us.
Okay. Got it. Gotcha.
Okay. All right, so let's get started on our new stuff today. So we're going to be continuing on with arrays. This is a pretty long chapter, but also very important too. Actually, let me make it like this. Okay, so the first thing we're going to go over is magnitude, length, and absolute value. So we already know how to use the length command, so that's a bit repetitive. But after that, we're going to go over multi-dimensional arrays. And then we'll go over array options. So I think we're only going to get to multi-dimensional arrays today before the quiz. But next week, we're going to go over array operations, which is, you could argue it's the most important topic of this class. So that's basically differentiating an array operation versus a matrix operation. An array operation is also called an element by element operation. But again, we're going to get to that most likely next week. Question? The stuff we're doing today won't be in the quiz, right? Yeah, the stuff we're starting right now is not going to be on the quiz today. All right, so magnitude, length, and absolute value. So the length command, again, we've already gone over that, so I'm not going to repeat it here, at least in code, but if we have this vector that's x equals 2, -4, and 5, if I use the length command on this vector, that's going to give us an answer of 3, because we have 3 elements in this vector. Okay, so as we do in math class, basically, we can find the magnitude of some vector as well. So when we find the magnitude of a vector, that's the square root of that vector, of the entries in that vector. So square root of all of the elements, they're summed together, and all of those elements are squared. So, in this case, we have our vector x equals 2, -4, and 5. If I want to find the magnitude of that vector, I take the square root, and I do 2 squared plus -4 squared plus 5 squared. So this is how we would do it by hand, right? But in MATLAB, we can just use the norm command, and that will calculate it for us just on the fly. So let's do magnitude, length, magnitude, and absolute value. Not value. Okay, so we have x equals -2, 2, -4, and 5. So if I want to find the magnitude, all I have to do is norm of x. And if I run this, then there we go. We get our answer is 6.7082.
Can you find a vector with more than 3 dimensions? Magnitude of something with more than 3 dimensions here?
Yeah, you're saying more than 3 elements? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, you could, yeah. So I'll add on a 2 there as well. And our magnitude is instead 7.
Interesting. All right, thank you.
Okay, and the absolute value, that's just going to be the ABS command, so standing for absolute. So I'll do absolute value equals ABS x. And if I run this, let's take off that suppression first. So this is going to calculate the absolute value for each element in that vector. So for us, we had a -4 for the second entry. So for that, it found the absolute value for that is going to be 4. And that's what we get in our answer. So I don't want to go over this stuff too much, and it's pretty basic, but this is, some basic math functions. Yeah. Yeah, Araceli, if I said your name right, yeah, that's correct. Yeah. If you want to hide the graphs or stop them from popping up, use the command that Araceli posted in the chat. It's just figure, visible, and then off. It's a very handy thing, especially when we go onto our project. You're going to be generating, like, at least from last semester, we had like 15 graphs. So if you were running your code again and again, it would be very annoying. So you can use this command to prevent that. Your other commands should show up. I'm running my code and they're showing up for me right now. But if you're having an issue, you can just comment out the plot line as well. Okay, so now we're on multidimensional arrays. So we're going to be doing, specifically, if you want, a multidimensional numeric array. So we're going to be still dealing with arrays that have numbers, but now we're going to make them multidimensional. So far we've been doing, for our arrays, we've had vectors and matrices. So a vector is just, either a row vector or a column vector. And a matrix is going to have both row vectors and column vectors together. And then a multidimensional array is going to have several matrices, basically. So a multidimensional array is going to have dimensions of m by n by q. So you see for a matrix, we had dimensions of m by n. But for this multidimensional array, we have dimensions of m by n by q. So basically, again, it's going to be like a list of matrices. So you can think of Q as like a layer. So we're going to have one matrix, like up here. And then we're going to go down. There's going to be another matrix and go down. And there's another matrix. It'll make more sense once we actually make one. So in MATLAB, there's two ways to create a multidimensional array. So the first one is we can make a matrix. So we only have one matrix. And from that, we can extend it, which means we can add another matrix to that. I should say it kind of like appending. So we append another matrix to that. And then the other method is using the cat command or the concatenate command. And you might be wondering when you would ever use this. So it's hard to just arbitrarily come up with an example here, but I know for 306B, which is the fluids lab here, that there's one instance when you would use it then. So I think basically, like for the experiments, you often record pressure at different taps along your experimental setup. And from that, you're going to have a lot of pressure readings. And you might have pressure readings over time. So at different points in time, the pressure is going to vary. So in that case, you would have like one matrix here for like taps 1, 2, and 3. And then you could have another matrix that corresponds to those same taps, but at a different point in time. So, I know you guys haven't taken that lab yet, or at least most of you haven't, but there are some times when you'll want to use a multi-dimensional array. It's not often, but it will happen. Okay, so let's go over the first method that we can use to create one. So that'll be extending a matrix. Multi-dimensional array extending. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is make a matrix A here. So I'll do A equals 303. That's our first row. I'll put a semicolon. So now we're going to make our second row. We'll make that 232. Put a semicolon. So now we're going to make our third row. And that'll be 909. So if I just run this, we can see our matrix here. And also you'll see if I look in the workspace, and if I hover over A, it says our size is 3 by 3. Or I can go in the command window, type in size of A, and that gives us 3 by 3. So we have 3 rows and 3 columns. All right, but now we want to extend this matrix to make a multi-dimensional array. So to do that, I'm going to type in A, that's our matrix. And I'm going to almost do like inverse array addressing. So I'm going to put in A, and for this array, I want to preserve all of the rows. So I'll put in a colon. and then I'll put in a comma, and I want to preserve all of the columns, so I'm going to put in a colon. All right, and now I'm going to put in a comma and 2. And basically what I have here is I'm saying to take matrix A, which we just created, and now I'm creating another matrix below matrix A. So that's why we have 2. This is going to be the second matrix in this multi-dimensional array A. So, right now we only have one matrix here for this multi-dimensional array A. And now I'm going to make the second matrix within that multi-dimensional array A. Again, it'll make more sense once we actually do this line of code. So for this second matrix, let's make it 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2. Doesn't matter. Okay, so there we go. Now if I run this code and I look at the command window, this is our output now. So now it's a multi-dimensional array. So you can see that we have this notation here where this first matrix is going to be A colon, comma, 1. So we have basically we have rows, we have columns, and this 1 here, this third argument that shows 1, that means we're in the first matrix for our multi-dimensional array for A. And then we can look down and you see that this is the second one, which we just made. So we made this second matrix for this multi-dimensional array A by extending it. So that's what we did in line 38 here. So basically, just to make it hopefully a bit more clear, we start out with just one matrix. And from that matrix, we can make a multi-dimensional array by extending it, they call it. And that's when we use this notation here. So we say, I want to make the second matrix for this multi-dimensional array. And then we just define that matrix. Okay, so that's one method, but personally, I think it's a bit, I don't know, like unintuitive, I guess. You might use it sometimes, but I think the more intuitive method is using the concatenate command. So we have multi-dimensional array, and we're going to say cat command. Also, once we approach 3:30, if I'm like still rambling on something, feel free to yell at me in your mic that it's about the quiz time. So before I go over this slide, I want to go over the cat command first. All right, so this is our other method to make a multi-dimensional array. And again, cat stands for concatenate. Okay, so what I'll actually first do is actually make this multi-dimensional array. So what we are going to do is define two matrices, and then from those two matrices, we're going to go on a new line and make our multi-dimensional array. So let's do A equals 99, 99, 99, 88, 88, 88. And okay, so that's one matrix right there. And on a new line, I'll make another matrix B, 101, 101, 101, 22, 22, 22. All right, so we have our two matrices here. And from these two matrices, I want to go on a new line here, and then I'm going to make our multi-dimensional array. So this multi-dimensional array, let's call it C. And now I'm going to use the cat command, or concatenate. And I'm going to put in 3. So let's actually go back here. So you see in this blue box here at the very top, you see that our first argument here is dim or dimensions. So to make a multi-dimensional array, it has to have a dimension of 3. So I'm going to put in 3, and then I'll put in the matrices that I want to have in this multi-dimensional array. So that'll be A and then B. And now if I run this, we see that we have our multi-dimensional array C. So the first one is our first matrix A that we made, and our second one is the matrix B that we made. So again, personally, I feel like this is a bit more straightforward to
Wait, what's the
make-
third dimension though?
Yeah, so I'll go over that right now. I just wanted to first show you how to make it, and then I'll go over the other dimensions. But yeah, so I think this is a bit more straightforward to make it this way compared to extending a matrix.
So extending and cat command, they both like give you the same, like you can solve a problem using extending and cat command, you get the same answer, but cat command is better.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say better. I personally prefer that method, but you can use any method you want.
Yeah, I
So-
prefer it too. It's a lot of it's a lot of colons for extending, and it looks like a mess.
Yeah. So yeah, we could have used the other method in this example too, but yeah, this example or this method here, I feel like it's a lot cleaner, but it's up to you guys. Okay, so there's a question about the dimension, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we used a dimension of 3 here, and that's to make our multi-dimensional array. So first off, I'm gonna comment this out. And what I'll do is type in c equals cat. So yeah, again, you can see here that it shows an argument for a dimension. Now I'll click on more help just so I'll explain it, but they also have, a full documentation page for the arguments that we have here. So they show an example with using a dimension of 1. And basically what that is going to do is append these matrices. So in this case, 1 is going to append the matrix below. And you can even see here that they say, alternatively, you can use the syntax of A semicolon B. So remember, the semicolon means to go on a new row. So if we have a matrix, it'll put this matrix below. And again, I'll show you this in a second. If we use a 2, they might have it here, but a 2 is basically going to append it to the right. Oh yeah, right here. So, for their example here, they have row vectors. And so if they use a dimension of 2, then it's going to append the row vector to the first row vector. So let's show you right now, and it'll clear it up. Okay, let's run this. So we have our 2 matrices here, A and B.
Yeah.
We use D equals cat, and then I'll put in a 1, and then I'll put A comma B. So if I put in 1, again, that's going to, it's even in my slide here. So if I put in a 1, it's the same as this command here, where we have A semicolon B. So that's going to put our matrix B below A. It's going to look like kind of what we have right here, actually.
But what if you put 2 there?
Yeah, I'll show you that in just a sec. So if I run this code right now, then this is what we get. So we get our new matrix D. So that makes a whole new matrix D. So we have matrix A up here, and then we append matrix B to matrix A. And then if I put in a 2, let's call this E. So we'll put in 2, comma A, comma B. What this will do is we're going to have this first matrix here, but to the right of this, or appended to that matrix, we're going to have matrix B. So all of this is going to go up here. So
it's kind of like a row of a matrix.
It's just a different way to append, basically. So let's put in comments here. So we could use this cat command, 1 comma A comma B, or I could have done A semicolon B. So it's just a different way to append. And for this one, I could have done A and just either a comma or a space B.
Oh, okay, I see. Thank you.
Yeah, so just a different way to append. But if we use a
What happens if
dimension,
you put like 0 or 4?
if we do 4, is that what you said?
Yeah, 0 or 4.
I don't think those are built into MATLAB to do anything. Let's check though.
All right.
0 comma A comma B. Yeah, so nothing. It doesn't do anything for that. So we need to have 0, 1. Yeah, we need to have 1, 2, or 3.
A question. So what does the dimension stand for? So like the 1, 2, or 3. Like so. At first I thought it was for the amount of values in your like row, like per row. But
Yeah.
then I changed it up on mine and it was different. So I don't know.
Yeah. So the 1, a dimension of 1. I don't really like their terminology of dimension because that can be a little confusing. At least to me anyway. So 1, that's going to basically append a whole new, I don't want to say a whole new, it's going to append below. So let's take this up. Okay, so we defined 2 matrices here. We had a matrix A and a matrix B. So what I have highlighted here, that's matrix A. And what I have highlighted now, that's matrix B. So when I use a dimension of 1, that's going, and I do cat 1 comma A comma B, that's going to append matrix B below matrix A like you see in here. So this is matrix B, it was appended below matrix A. Does that make sense so far?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay, and then if I use a dimension of 2, that's just a different way to append. So instead of appending matrix B below matrix A, if I put in a dimension of 2, that's going to append matrix B to the right of matrix A. And that's what you see down here. So I can't highlight it how I want it to.
Oh, so
Over here,
basically, sorry. Go ahead.
So over here, where I'm kind of hovering, this is matrix B. So I appended matrix B after matrix A, kind of to the right. You see that? Instead of going below, I put it to the right.
Oh, so basically 1 puts it under, 2 puts it to the right, and 3 puts it where?
Yeah, and yeah, 3 will make our multidimensional array, like we see up here. So that's keeping the matrices kind of separate, but they're in this container of a multidimensional array.
How come there it doesn't include B, or does it just separate it?
Yeah, they're separated right
Okay,
here. So this is matrix
so,
A and this is matrix B.
so 1 puts it under, 2 puts it to the right, and 3 separates them. Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay, so how would I ask this on a quiz? If I ask you on a quiz, I'll probably show you how it should look. So I'll basically make this kind of multi-dimensional array. It won't look like MATLAB kind of formats it, but I'll say make this multi-dimensional array, and I'll try to be very specific, so that there's no questions. But yeah, when I had a question on this last semester, no one had any issues, so I think I was clear enough. But I'll be sure to be clear in the quiz for sure if I have a question on that. All right, so it's almost 3:30, so I'll stop now just so you guys can get Canvas popped up. So remember to access the quiz. I'm showing you the, I just showed you the quiz again on accident. Hopefully no one really saw it. So let's go to student view again. All right, so we're in student view now, and to access the quiz, you go on this left sidebar here and you click on quizzes, and then quiz 1, this is going to be available in just 1 minute. So I'm going to stay on the call. So if you have any questions, make sure all of your mics are muted just so you don't disturb anyone else. But I'm going to stay on the call, and if you have a question, you can send me a direct message in Canvas, or not in Canvas, in our Zoom call, and then I'll respond to you. But again, make sure you get all of your answers in before the quiz finishes, okay? Okay, so I'm going to mute my mic now, but again, if you have any questions, send me a direct message here on the Zoom call. And if you want, you can also leave the call if you prefer that too. Okay, quiz is starting, so I'm going to mute my mic.
I have a quick question, Professor. Um, so on the quiz, you don't like, for example, number two asks us to have our answer in V equals. Do you want our answer after the equals, or have the answer like in the box? Do you want us to have V equals and whatever?
No, just put your answer in the box.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, you guys have about 2 minutes left, so make sure that your answers are in the text boxes.
Can we see our grade? It says you won't. It's under your control, under instructor settings.
Yeah, I don't have it show the grade automatically because, you know, your formatting might be a little different and it would
I
mark
see.
it wrong.
It says I got 6 out of 50. That's not right, right? Like you still have to grade it on your own.
Yeah, I tried making it not show you the grade, but
Yeah,
for
it's
that
fine.
reason, because it probably shows that you did a lot worse than you actually did.
Yeah.
Wait, Patrick, wait, you said if you submit if you run out of time, if you didn't submit it, you said save.
Well, I want you to submit it, you know, in time, of course, because I can't extend it easily right now. So you would have to give me your answers on, like, send me a message on Discord if you didn't do it in time. But you gotta do it right now.
Right now.
Yeah. Because
How do
time's
I
up.
how do I
It
look at it?
submitted it on its own and it said it's late for me right now.
Oh yeah, if it says it's late, I'm not gonna mark it as late because it's
Okay.
submitted on its own.
Okay, thank you.
So nothing bad happens if like you just let it run the time right now and you don't press submit.
Yeah. So I'm looking at some of you right now. You said you didn't submit in time, but I'm looking at your page and I see your answers. So don't worry
Oh.
about that.
Okay, I thought it was gonna submit you. Thank you.
Wait, so how do I look at it and send you to Discord?
Hold on. I'm looking at your submission right now and I see everything in there. So, yeah. So you don't have to do it on Discord.
Wait, why does it say late then if I don't submit it?
I don't know why MATLAB says it, or not MATLAB. I don't know why Canvas says it's late because it's not. It submitted it by itself. So don't worry if it says it's late.
Okay, so it's fine for those people who didn't submit it on time.
Yeah, because, you know, just because you didn't press submit, it doesn't matter. MATLAB does it, or not MATLAB, geez. Canvas does it itself. Even if it says it's late, I'm not going to mark it as late.
All right.
Yeah, so I see all of your answers specifically right now. I see them on Canvas. Okay, let me look through all of your questions here. I know there's a lot, so let me go back a bit. Okay, so one of them is 2 says colon or line. Oh, pace operator. Did I say pace? Yeah, you could use either the colon operator, should have said that, or the linspace function, yeah. And I think I also checked your submission, by the way, and I saw it. Is your name Lisa? Oh, Lissandro, right?
Oh, Professor, what if we're not added on Discord though?
Yeah, if you're not on Discord, okay.
I sent it through Zoom.
Okay, so Brianna, if you're not on Discord, well, one, you can join on Canvas, but do you want me to check if your quiz was submitted okay?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I see all of your answers here.
So there's no issue, right? When it comes to like just not to pressing submit when the timer runs out.
Yeah, if you don't press submit, Canvas will still submit on its own, and I will see all of the answers if you put them in the text box, of course.
Oh,
And if it says late, don't worry about that.
okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay, so I'm moving down now. So Javier, let me check you. Everyone, all of you should be fine, but if you want me to double check, you can stay on the call and I'll check. Okay, Javier, so I see all of your answers too. They're all there. Okay. Okay, yeah, so it looks like I got all of your questions now. If there's any more, then let me know. Everyone should have been submitted okay.
Oh, wait, Patrick, when can we see our quiz grade?
I mean, probably this weekend or something. I gotta grade them all manually by myself.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. For
The
the
progress
quiz,
is saved, right? Oh, my bad.
Yeah. So for the quiz, we're just putting the answer, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you should have put in the code to get your answer.
Okay, alright.
It looks like I'm looking at your quiz right now, and it looks like you did it for everyone but the first one.
I'm sorry?
It looks like you put in your code for all of the questions besides the first one.
Oh yeah, I was sorry. I don't know, like I was like I don't know, I get anxiety before the quiz.
Okay, so did you have code for that one or no? Did you write code for the first question?
I'm no, actually, no, because I thought you
Okay.
said because I thought I misheard you saying you shouldn't or
No,
and
I always want to see the code that you wrote.
Oh, okay, all right, my bad.
Yeah, you did that for the other question, so that's good, but not the first one.
Okay, because I thought you said like I thought wait, were you saying like you shouldn't make it as your number one priority? Is that what you meant?
Say that again?
Did you say you shouldn't make it as your number one priority?
No, I want to make sure that you guys put in the code basically in time, because that was a big issue last semester.
Oh, okay, I misheard you in Zoom then.
If you have your code for question 1, you can send it to Discord right now. Just because I know you haven't been working on it, you've been talking this whole time. So if you have code written for question 1, send it on Discord to me in a private message.
Shit. Next time I'll send all my code for next quiz. I like misheard you for this one.
Okay, so question I don't know how to say your name, but I'll give it a try. Narishki? Let me check if I see yours. Okay. Yeah, I see all of your answers, yeah.
All right, thank you.
So yeah, if any of you guys ever have any issues submitting it, or you want me to check, I can check right away, or if you didn't get one in the text box right away, send it to me on Discord literally right after the quiz, so I know that you weren't taking more time than you were supposed to. That's why I really want to emphasize to get everything in on time. Okay, Jesus, let me check. Yeah, I see yours in there, Jesus, I see it. And then Rodrigo, let me check. Okay, Rodrigo, I see all of yours in there too. Yep, have a good day.
So Patrick, am I all good? There's nothing more.
Did you send your code to me on Discord?
Huh?
Did you send the code for question 1 to me on Discord?
Oh no, I said I didn't do it because I misheard it.
Okay.
So I said next time I'll like send it to you for quiz 2. I completely misheard the direction.
Okay. Then yeah, you're good.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm all good, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks. See you like Monday, is that right?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, yeah, Brianna. I checked yours, Brianna. There's a question?
Oh no, I was just saying have a good one. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Yep, see ya. Okay, Jordan. Let me check yours. Okay, Jordan, I see all of yours too. And Zafan, do you want me to check yours? Let's see.
Yes, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I see all of yours too.
Sweet, thank you.
Or the last one says no answer. Did you put anything for the last one?
I don't think I put anything for the last two. I just ran out of time.
Okay. All right, anyone else?
Hi, Professor. I messaged you on Discord. I just wanted to make sure that you can see what I was trying to say.
I already submitted it on Titanium too. I just wanted to send a picture just so that
Hmm.
you can physically see it.
Okay. Let me check Discord. So are those for the last question?
Yeah.
Let me check your submission too. Yeah, that looks good.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, hold on, give me a sec. So were you doing it?
I just
Now
did
I'm
it.
looking at it more. Now I'm a little confused.
I just did it the only way that like made sense at the time. So I just
Oh,
made
I see what you
each
did.
column individually.
Okay,
And
yeah, I see what you did now. Okay.
okay, is that
Yeah,
fine?
I'll keep that in mind for when I grade it. You'll get as many partial points as you can.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, bye.
See ya.